Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have my May Book of the Month box, so let's check it out and see what's inside. This month I chose one of the Book of the Month options and I also added on 2 add-ons. So here we go. Here is a look at this month's Book of the Month box. On the top, this is my prize. Oh my gosh. Not Now, I'm Reading. Book of the Month has a reading challenge, and once you finish a reading challenge, you get to choose from several prizes. So I chose the Not Now, I'm Reading socks. I can't remember all of the things I had to do. It was a certain number of books, a certain number of debuts, but I'll put all of that information in the description below. And they also sent this card. Way to go, champ. You kept your eyes on the prize. So this is just a fun extra addition to Book of the Month. Now to the books. The book on top, this is the Book of the Month I chose. This is called Breathless, and this is a thriller by Amy McCulloch. The quick take on this one is the chilling story of a mountaineering expedition gone very, very wrong. Make sure you have your oxygen pack ready. I love hiking and adventures, so this book sounded right up my alley. So there were other books to choose from. The other books you could have chosen for May were a literary fiction, Yerba Buena by Nina LaCour, a gothic fiction called The Hacienda by Isabel Canas, a historical fiction called Take My Hand, and this is by Dolan Perkins Valdez, a romance called Part of Your World, and this is by Abby Jimenez. The last one is a fantasy called Darling Girl, and it is by Liz Mikowski. In addition to my Book of the Month, I chose 2 add-ons. Here's the first one. I'm so excited. I know a lot of people have read this one. This is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I read Verity a few months ago by Colleen Hoover and I loved it. So I wanted to read this one, and I think she has a sequel to this one coming out in October. If you've read it, let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed It Ends With Us. The last Colleen Hoover book I read, I could not put it down, so I'm assuming the same thing will happen with this one. So I'm super excited to start it. The last add-on for May is Lessons in Chemistry, and this is by Bonnie Garmus. This book is a historical fiction set in the 1960s. I'm super excited about all 3 of these books this month, so I'm going to get started on these ASAP. The bottom of the box has the Book of the Month bookmark that they send every month, and this month it says, "Please don't stop." Real quick, I wanted to go over my April books. The first book I read in April was one of the Book of the Month choices. This is Like a Sister by Kelly Garrett, and the main character, her sister, is a reality TV star, and she is found dead in the very first chapter. And so her sister is trying to crack the case throughout the book. And it takes place in New York City, so I love a New York setting, but it just fell flat for me at the end. I definitely would read another book by Kelly Garrett because I did love the writing. I just didn't love the ending. So that was Like a Sister. The next book I read was a historical fiction. This is by Karen Joy Fowler, and this is called Booth. And this was a very tedious read. It took a long time to get through this, but it was also historical fiction, so you got to keep that in mind. But to me, this was fascinating. I never really thought about the life of the family of John Wilkes Booth. So first of all, I don't know if you knew this, but they were actors. His dad was a famous actor traveling all around doing Shakespeare. Other family members became actors as well. I did not know the story about his brother actually saved Lincoln's son from a train. There's just so many interesting tidbits. So I would read a little bit, Google it, do some research to see what was really true. I thought the historical part was amazing. Very tedious read though. So if you just like a light, fun, quick read, this one's not for you. But if you are interested in diving into some of the history of this era, I was fascinated. So that was Booth. So after Booth, luckily I had a light, easy, fun read. This is Beach Read by Emily Henry, and I read People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry earlier this year, and I loved it. So I grabbed this one, and I liked this one even more than People We Meet on Vacation. So this is just a fun, light romance novel, like things like this never happen in real life, but it was a fun escape, a fun read. And she actually has another book out that just came out. I can't think of the name of it right now, but she had a new book come out in May, so I may check that one out as well. So if you have read her new book, let me know in the comments below if you recommend it. This was just a fun, easy, light read. One additional book I read this month that was not a book of the month book. This was a young adult book. One of Us is Lying, and this book was so good. I loved it so much. This is a mystery suspense novel about a student dies at a high school. There are 4 suspects and they are trying to crack the case. I love how it was written. I love the characters. So I highly recommend this book, and I recommend it so much that I have another unboxing to do real quick. This is actually not from Book of the Month, obviously. And I loved One of Us is Lying so much that I ordered One of Us is Next. So this is the sequel to One of Us is Lying, so I cannot wait to start this one as well. So I'm going to read all of my Book of the Month books first and then get into this one. So hopefully I'll have all of those read before my June box. So I've got a lot of work to do. And that was it. That was everything in my May Book of the Month unboxing. If you are interested in Book of the Month, it is a subscription box, but you can get your first box for $5. I have a link in the description below with a coupon code, so be sure to check that out. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe.